for you right here on The Morning Show.
It's The Morning Show!
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
Have you ever tried cleaning your shoes with wet paper towel? Or have you ever cleaned up spilled coffee with one sheet of tissue paper? Or maybe cleaned dirty paw marks off your rug with a wet cloth? Well, then you must know the frustration. Wasted time, wasted water, and wasted paper. Waste no more. Meet UniWipe, the mother of all wipes. It's bigger, it's wetter, it's stronger. Call or WhatsApp 246-417-0477 or email us at info@agilityexports.com to find out more.
Looking for the best price on your third-party insurance? Well, look no more. The Insurance Company of the West Indies, ICWI, has the best protection at the best price with no deductible. What are you waiting for? Click, call 465-8753 or visit us at 1C Bird Rock Road or in Nevis number 22 Solomon Arcade, Main Street. Payment options available.
Get a free pie in July at Domino's. Click on over to Domino's.kn, and when you order any carry-out large pizza at menu price, you get a second medium one-topping pizza absolutely free. Simply click on the offer on the homepage or use offer code JULY, all caps, and your second pizza is free. Offer valid for carry-out orders placed online at any Domino's location, or download our Domino's Caribbean app in all the app stores. A free pizza pie in July at Domino's. Now that's amore.
Wow, call Domino!
Or click Domino's.kn now.
It's a Prime summertime with Digicel. We know you love Prime apps and content, so activate prepaid or postpaid Prime bundles or pay your Prime postpaid bill in full. Maybe Primetime TV and internet content are more your thing. Perfect! Sign up for the fastest internet speeds and best TV offers in Nevis. Here's your chance to be a Primetime winner. Win prizes every 2 weeks. Free phones, Echo Dots, MiFis, and of course, cash is up for grabs. You could be the crack prize winner of $1,000 cash, plus pick your best Prime buddy to win $500 cash as well. It's time to get Prime. Prime for summertime with Digicel. Digicel is better together. Terms and conditions apply.
COVID-19 guidelines for restaurants and bars. The St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce would like to remind persons when patronizing restaurants and bars to abide by the following COVID-19 guidelines to protect employees, customers, and our community. Require that employees wear a face mask in the presence of staff and customers. Remember to wear your face mask from the time you enter the establishment until you are seated. Upon entry, always sanitize your hands. Your host or hostess will have to check your temperature with a non-contact forehead thermometer. Once seated at your table or bar, you may then remove your face mask. Employees are encouraged to frequently wash their hands with soap and water, especially before and after preparing food, after using the bathroom, and after handling garbage. Clean and disinfect high-touched surfaces such as telephones, cash registers, bathrooms, tables, chairs, and countertops regularly throughout the day, especially after a customer has left. Consider installing barriers such as sneeze guards or partitions to limit contact with your customers. Limit large customer gatherings by offering delivery services and takeout options where possible. For more information, visit www.sknchamber.com and covid19.gov.kn.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Mavis White Archibald with your safety tip for today. If a fire occurs in your home, get out, stay out, and call for help. Never go back inside the house for anyone or anything.
This message was brought to you by ZIZ and the St. Kitts Nevis Fire Department.
Good morning once again, and welcome back to our program here on the morning show. It's time for our conversation with St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services. In the studio with me representing, we have Mr. Martin and Mr. Williams. Good morning to both of you gentlemen.
Good morning, GQ.
Good morning, GQ.
Listening audience.
Indeed, good morning all.
Nice man. All right, so we're continuing our series this morning.
Soon to wrap up. Soon to wrap up on that
You
topic.
make that sound like it's so bad. But I get the point. Yes, yes. So where you want to start from this morning?
Well, we want to touch on rehearsing of the fire evacuation. Now, it's one thing to have a plan nicely laid out on paper, but you need to rehearse that plan in order to know if it is effective. So one would have to, if something come up within the rehearsal, then you would have to make additional changes to the plan to suit whatever situation arises, all right? So let's say, for example, if you have children in school, the schools, they have the drills down pat. I must commend the schools for that. Whether it be a tsunami drill, an earthquake drill, they have those drill, a fire drill, they have those drill down pat. So just like how the children, they rehearse these drills in school, we as adults, we have to do the same, whether it be for our workplace or for our homes as well. All right? So that is important. So we should regularly schedule these drills, because the more you do it, the more it comes second nature.
Anything from you, Mr. Williams?
Well, Mr. Martin would have explained the importance of rehearsing, and I think for those of us who came up in church, when you have your little church programs, you have to recite a poem. And, you have your practices, and the more you practice, after a while you could just say it. And even years after, you could still recite the same poem, because it is now part of you. It's the same thing for the rehearsal of an evacuation, fire evacuation drill. The more you do it, the more familiar it becomes, the more comfortable you become. And what this does, it eliminates confusion, it eliminates chaos, it eliminates panic, and it increases the chances of having a successful evacuation with minimal no casualties or victims whatsoever. So it is also a very crucial, critical element in creating your evacuation plan. Not just to have a nice plan to present, to say, oh, well, we have a plan, but then you have no idea what is in the plan. You have no idea what to do when it is time to execute the plan. So you may as well didn't have a plan at all. So you need to rehearse it, and rehearse it as often as possible, so that it becomes, like Mr. Martin mentioned, second nature. All right, and this also would assist fire department as well, because as he mentioned, the schools, they have their evacuation plan more or less locked down. So when you hear you have to respond to a school, you're a bit more comfortable, because the schools have their plan locked. So, the chances of anybody getting left behind is slim, even though you still have to carry out your routine checks, and to make sure that nobody is still inside. At least the chances of anybody being left behind, as I mentioned, is minimal, because they practice their plan regularly. There are other businesses around town that do the same. We would have done drills with one or two of the banks who keep improving on their drills, because they understand the importance of exercising the drill. Because for the case of a bank, where you have outside persons coming in now, you know, have another element added because you know have to know how to deal with getting these persons out who might not be familiar with your drill. Okay, so that is another factor that would affect the evacuation time. Because you know how to filter that in, so you now have to practice that and add that as part of your plan. How do we empty a full bank within this amount of time?
That's a tough one, but
And
boy,
it goes way back. It goes back now to where we mentioned having what do you call it again? Maps posted in strategic areas around the facility, so that even an outsider coming in and make it easy, nothing sophisticated, and outsider coming in could easily look at your plan and say, hey, okay, if something is to happen, I'm in this section, I should exit on this door and go this way and go that way. It should be clear and as simple as possible. So yes, rehearsing the plan, very, 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 very important.
Okay. Mr. Martin?
As he touched on rehearsal and so, Jiggy, he ever tell you how good he is on the saxophone? Yeah, man, very good saxophone player, man.
You've been practicing.
And practicing.
No, you're advertising.
but yes, indeed, it is important for persons to rehearse and practice. Remember, you in a real life situation where there is fire, chances are the smoke would be obscuring your visibility. So if you practice, you can also do it at night as well when it's dark. So it's not only a daytime drill. You could do it at night as well. So the element of darkness, it doesn't overwhelm you while you're trying to escape or evacuate from your house.
I understand, because at the end of the day, even though you're emphasizing on, or making emphasis on, you know, the rehearsal aspect of it, there's still the element of your reaction to the circumstance at hand. You know, you might be rehearsing this thing for the past 2-3 years or whatever the case may be, but then the fire or whatever happens and you just shut down. Some people are like that. So it is important to make that a part of your second nature. So at least if you do shut down, you do it, the first thing come to your instinct, which is to do what you've been rehearsing all these times. I've seen that on more than one occasion in, of course, not real situations, but dramatic programs geared towards stuff like that. And I've seen instances where even the people rehearse, they almost resort to the first thing that they feel comfortable doing. And if it's not something for you to help yourself, then you're in problems.
Right. What I would say, in panic is something that is natural, all right? So within the first 5 seconds, absorb all the panic. Absorb it in. Flush your system of panic thereafter and be in a state of readiness. So situation arise, it's natural to panic, suck it in. Then just explode it out, do what you have to do. Get in gear.
I hear.
And you can only do what you have to do if you know what you have to do. And it goes back again. If you know what you have to do, it reduces panic. Now, there's always a sense of
adrenaline.
But it doesn't mean that I am panicking, but there's a sense like, okay, we need to get this done. But you know what to do. You know what to do. So it reduces panic. There are some persons who would panic regardless. They just can't help. And it takes them some time before they could more or less level out and get things going, while there are other persons who just jump to it because they are more confident in what in basically doing what they have to do. I might panic more than him. He's an adrenaline junkie, so he's always ready to go. Right? So, and I might be a little bit more reserved and okay, and then I go. Right? So it just depends on the person. But if we practice, we'll be less likely to panic.
Yep.
Indeed. Anything else you want to share on the topic, or is that your last topic on the fire, on the plan?
Just follow up on reporting. Companies, some of them have to report to bigger their headquarters. Make sure that you have aligned all your document, everything that needs to be documented. Send out that information as quickly as possible to your relevant authorities and things like that. And that would reduce the lot of back and forth. Have a proper documentation of all that transpired so you could account for what happened.
Indeed. Anything else from you, Mr. Williams?
Yes, and we could easily see how following up and reporting ties right back up into communication. You know, if you have a good communication plan, following up and reporting would also fall basically in that category. As if you have a good communication system with your headquarters or with your supervisor or your whatever it is, chief of staff or whoever, then of course you would following up and reporting would come quite easy because you already have a good communication structure. And so you need to keep persons informed because and don't take it for granted that, oh well, I don't think this information is that important. Tell them everything. Let them decide what they don't want. But you report everything. Make sure it is recorded, dated, time, as much specifics information as possible so that they could just look at your report, and even though they were not present, they have a very good understanding of what transpired. Okay? It is very important for record keeping as well. So that, God forbid, if something else were to happen, again, you go back to your record and see something similar would have happened, around this time. So now you could decide, well, hey, something is wrong. Something is wrong. This thing happened some time ago and it happened again. So you need to now start to mitigate so that it doesn't happen a third time, which is where we, at the top now, where we said that you imagine various scenarios and try and cover as many scenarios as possible. Go to the most extreme, to the least extreme. Things that probably would never happen, think about it still.
Right.
Even though chances are it might not happen, think of it, add it in your plan. That way your plan is more solid. Cover any situation you could think about. So working in the fire department, we basically have to be reporting things daily. Like every day there's something we have to report. And the failure to report and failure to follow up could result in some unwanted situations.
I hear you.
You get a fire call and you don't relay the information, you have a problem. If you don't report the correct information, you have a problem. So it is similar. It is very similar. You have to report accurate information. You don't just record for recording's sake. It has to be accurate, precise, specific. Okay? Because this very same report may be called upon to be used elsewhere, maybe in court or elsewhere. So you have to be careful.
Indeed. Okay. Last week we ran through the information and we didn't open the line. So let's open the lines this morning. 465-2555-2555. And for those of you who are overseas, 718-577-2916 for you to get in and get your concerns or questions over. Let's take this first call. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, GQ, and to the officers there.
Good morning, sir.
I'm going a bit backward in relation to last week. In relation to when I spoke about tools and equipment, I was wondering if some of these aren't essential as well in your evacuation procedure plan. Like the pull station, bullhorn, intercom, also illuminant tape, and staircase, roof hatches, or smoke vents. Okay? I'm wondering if they are essential, and if so, you can probably give a little explanation on them.
All right, man. Thanks for your call and thanks for your questions.
Thanks for your input, Carlo. Those things that you mentioned are very important for a fire plan. Some of them would be alert mechanisms, which would help you to recognize that there is an issue, a fire. Others, some of the other things would assist you in well, not the alerting, but alerting other personnels, such as the strobe lights, etc. He mentioned about the tapes, the illuminant tapes. Now these, in a darkened situation where there's poor lighting, having tapes along the ground would help you to guide you to where the doors or the exit is. All right, so that is very important. Mr. Williams, touch on.
Yes, he would have mentioned bullhorn as well. The bullhorn is basically used in scenarios where there might be a crowd, or maybe you just need your voice to be amplified to make sure that persons hear you properly. Of course, these are essentials. The tools we mentioned last week, the list is not an exhaustive list. It's not the only things. We would have just mentioned a few. Of course, there are other mechanisms that could be added to your evacuation for your fire prevention mechanism, and it is based on basically the facilities needs, as whether or not they would need certain equipment or tools added. But everything that the caller mentioned, they are indeed essential, and they are basically tools as well that could be used in the whole fire prevention mechanism.
Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning.
Good morning. And good morning, the great firemen.
Good morning to you, sir.
I might have to call you all because I just scratch a match to find a needle.
just don't add no gas.
Okay, no gas deal. I have a little question. Well, the bullhorn could use to put the crowd back from the fire. Now, I got a little question here. Now, in St. Thomas, where I lived for many years, they have some what you call water connection standpipe. And they use them to wash down the streets and drain at night. Now, my question is this. Suppose you have to use seawater to help to out a fire or wash down drain, whatsoever it is. And immediately after using it, you wash out the truck, the apparatus on the truck. Can the seawater still eat out the metal? Because, seawater operates like cancer eating out some people, eating a human being if you don't take care of yourself. So that's the little question. I'll listen off the ear.
Okay. What I would say about that, the thing is, if you could use salt water, yes, but you would have to make sure that your system is properly flushed and you don't have any salt water remaining in the system. Otherwise, yes, we know sodium is corrosive, and the salt, it will eventually eat its way to the metal. However, there are certain pumps that are actually designed for pumping salt water, so the effect of the salt will be less. But however, over time, you will still have to flush the system, but it would stand up a little longer than the normal material that they would use. However, if it stays over time, eventually it will corrode the metal. So even though they are designed for pumping salt water, you still have to make sure that you flush the system immediately after and flush it properly, and make sure that you don't have any, you drain the housing, drain the pump, to get rid of any excess water so that you don't have any water sitting inside of the pump to cause any damage.
All right, let's take another call. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning.
Hey.
Junior, senior just gone.
Yes.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
As usual, I am so impressed listening to you all and the way you all explain things. And I'm glad that you all brought up the rehearsal in relation to having a plan, because that is very essential.
Indeed.
I make no sense you have a plan, and when the time comes, you are fumbling because there's no rehearsal, no practicing of putting in that plan into place.
Yes.
And one thing I'm so impressed about the fire and the way you all operate is targeting the children. That idea of the camp that you all used to have, I don't know if you all still have it, maybe because of the COVID-19.
Yes.
You all had a little break. But to me, that made a big difference in the Federation.
Still.
Because you find the children, they are very knowledgeable about fire. And the thing about they know, they say a small one will lead them. So
Yes,
sometimes you
indeed.
find the children are better able to understand and cope with whatever situation, even when the big persons or the adults are panicking.
Yes,
Because they have been doing it and it's a drill in their head over and over. And children, they are very, in terms of taking in ideas or taking in information, they are very good because their brain is always ready and equipped to learn.
Right.
So I'm so glad, but I must say, I'm very impressed listening to you all every morning on this show. So continue doing the good work, and I pray and well. The good thing about it, a lot of the children, I hope their parents are listening to ZIZ so they can listen to this program, and even adults, because the information that you all put over, it is very, very good based on how things are going, and we can make the difference in our life, save lives, save our properties, and so on and so on. So
Yes.
great job, gentlemen. Continue doing the great job.
Yes, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. very much.
Have a good day.
Nice, man. Let's take this next call. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning again.
Yes, man.
In relation to the evacuation procedure, are there different type of evacuation? We have different type of evacuation. And can an evacuation exercise, turn to reality, and how would you deal with it? And also, is there a minimum width for your evacuation route? And I'm talking about inside the building. I'd listen off here.
All right, man. Thank you for your call and your questions. Who would like to go first? Mr. Martin, Mr. Williams?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, so there are different type of evacuation procedures. All based on the scenario that presents itself. All right. So yes, that's the short answer to that question. In relation to if a drill could potentially turn into a real-life event, that is very, very much possible. Okay, so in any type of drill that we conduct, we always bear in mind that there is a possibility for that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a fire drill. We have had drills before where persons, they were in the water doing a practice drill, and someone actually took ill while in the water, and it turned out to be a real thing. One aspect was trade winds. All right, so you should have a safe word again to let persons know that, hey, this drill is no longer a drill, but it's a real life situation. Mr. Williams?
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, one of the things that we teach whenever we have to do fire prevention presentations, and especially drill, when we have a debriefing after a drill, we always try to encourage the persons who are taking part in the drill to treat the drill the drill as if it's a real life drill. Because sometimes persons may get a hint that it's a drill and they, just kind of downplay it. So we keep telling them this drill can go from a drill to reality in seconds. And if you're playing around like this, you'll be caught off guard. All right? And then it goes back again to rehearsing the drill. So if you rehearse the drill and you know the drill at like the back of your hand, if you know it, if it turns into a real life scenario, then you know the drill. So you'll just respond because you're already having the drill. So you basically know it's real life. So you just operate as planned or as rehearsed. So again, once they know the drill, once it goes from a drill to a real life event, once they practice, they will just basically flow into the actual plan. And as Mr. Martin mentioned, have a safe word or a caution word, whatever you want to call it, to alert persons, hey, this is not a drill anymore, this is real life. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, one more question. You didn't make mention of it. You remember the last question?
I think it was what's the weight?
The standard weight of
for evacuation route inside the building.
I can't remember that one offhand, but that is something that I would have to look over again, so I could bring that information next week.
Okay.
I have to research it.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, we are out of time. It's 10 o'clock. I want to thank all our callers and all of our listeners and viewers for this morning, being a part of our programming. We'll be here again next week. Godspeed All Life. Same time, same place, 9:30 for another St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services sharing information session. Take care of yourself. I didn't leave the last word for you guys. I left it for me this morning. Take care, man. Keep it locked. We'll be back.
Supporting our own, and our customers deserve the best. Our customers deserve platinum. So now, all customers of the cable qualify for our new Platinum Loyalty Card. An elite MasterCard experience that lets you support your own like never before. Instantly send money to any Platinum Loyalty member at home or around the world. Shop online or in person anywhere MasterCard is accepted. Save with no interest and 0 annual fees. And the best part? If you're a cable customer, you are already pre-approved. Just visit the cable building in Basseterre or sign up online at www.the